My past will outlast me. Ask me if I agree with my choices now. I'd say no. I'd ask if that's me, 'cause I don't recognize myself anymore. No, sir. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rebel, stepping up to the plate, give them hell, feeling great, show and tell, devastate. I've taken my fair share of beatings and I've retreated and bleeded, but my kids were dying for to give her something to believe in. You're gonna trip, you're gonna fall, you're gonna land face down in the dirt. But when you're done, you'll no longer crawl. You'll be invincible from the hurt.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 10. Yeah, in double digits already. I am shocked. Of the Roundtable Show. This week, we're going to review episode 1127 of the Typical Skeptic. And you guys might notice something different about what's going on in my reality. I don't have a backdrop this week. And that's because I have a panelist with me this week that's going to be in and out. And she's going to be doing her very first tarot card reading for the collective. Well, on video. She does tarot for us all the time. She's finally stepping out of her niche and giving it a try here. Is Canadian Spinja, my loving partner. Joining me again this week is my other partner in crime, is DJ Maya from SOSQHT.
Hey.
Give us hey. And I am honored again, this woman, like, knows no boundaries of her giving, like, is Karen Holton from Karen Holton TV, who has 2 podcasts of her own, is currently, like, educating, has written down and putting into video form the Quantum Health Transformation program. And it is absolutely a mind blower. If you guys haven't checked out an episode, go all the way back to 9 or even the orientation and check this out, because it is changing my reality every time I hear something from this woman. Is the wonderful Karen Holton.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. Nice to be here.
Thank you for joining us again. So I guess we can just get right after it, because, you know, it's recording day here in the Rogers house. Canadian Spinja is actually shooting an episode of her helpful hints, and she's teaching you all how to make a chocolate cake from scratch. And that's better than going and spend $30 when you can do it for $5 from your kitchen. Just telling you. So if you want to give a quick heads up on how you got into this and
the tarot part of things?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just tarot has been something that it's been suggested by many wise people. And I finally listened. I gave in. When we were out doing our Christmas shopping, there was just something that said, you know what, you need to get your deck. It's time. Just do it. Dive in. So I'm going to say that I am a rookie. I am new at this, so please be patient. But I want to, and I'm going to give Maya a big thank you, because she's there with her lighter, like trying to light a match under my butt. Like, come on, just do it. You're never going to be ready, so just do it. So this is me just doing it, and I'm going to say to all the tarot newbies, just do it. So, yeah. So how I did this, I pulled 3 cards. And I did situation, action, and outcome. So the first card I pulled was the situation, was the 6 of Cups. The second card that I pulled, the action card, is the Sun. And the third card, the potential outcome. And this is the other thing that I'm going to say, is that this outcome is not written in stone. It's a potential outcome. And if you listen, if you follow the other 2, like the guidance of the other 2 cards, then this is a potential outcome that could possibly happen for you. But I will never tell you, this is the way it's going to be, count on this, because it's all up to you. We still all have free will. So, but with that also said, you know, like, you pay attention, you watch for the signs, then this could totally happen for you. So the first thing I did with when I pulled the cards, I just looked at them and listened to my gut and tried to put the story together. And because I'm still learning what the cards mean, and this is why I did it ahead of time, because I still have to look up what the cards mean. And so my initial, like, looking at the cards. So the first one, so we've got the Six of Cups. Oops, my pen's not helping. So what I saw there is support and loving, and it just looks like there's 6 individuals filling up each other's cups. And so when I looked at that, my intuition told me, so uniting, working together, filling each other's cups. That's what's happening. And then the next was the Sun card. And so again, going on my intuition, the sun is shedding light on the situation, showing us what we need to do to fill our cups so that we can put ourselves in a place to be of service to others, with also helping fill their cups up. And then the takeaway, so with the 10 of Cups, because, like, we're close, like 10 is the highest number that you can get. So that means that, like, you're as close to this as you can possibly be. So our cups are full, allowing us to keep moving forward on our paths. And if we're operating from a full cup, then we're in a better place to be of service to others and help them fill their cups. So that was the intuition part. And then I got into, like, like, the designating meanings of the cards, and it was like, I'm kind of on there, but a little off a little bit, but I can see how it ties in. So the Suit of Cups, because 2 of them popped up, I felt like it was a very important message. So I looked into it further. So Cups is it's the water symbol. It represents flow. And so I feel like we've been blocked in some way, like we're being blocked, and it's slowing, but right now some of the dams are breaking and the flow is coming, and it's happening. And so then I moved on to the meanings and the key words. And so the keywords for the Six of Cups: revisiting the past, childhood memories, innocence, joy. And it's talking about past influences. And so I kind of pulled it together. It's talking about our inner child. And so then I moved on to the Sun, which is the keywords for that is positivity, fun, warmth, success, vitality, freedom, optimism, confidence, openness. So I wasn't exactly, my intuition wasn't exactly wrong with that. It sort of feels like it's shedding some light and bringing in the love. And then the 10 of Cups, divine love, blissful relationships, harmony and alignment. And so it's talking about happy families, reunions, homecomings, gatherings, stability. So I pieced it all together, and this is my takeaway. We're being asked to reflect and shine light on our past, love our inner child, look for those people, that, like, the individuals who have loved that child genuinely on our path. And I'm not like, and back in our childhood, but even now, I can speak for myself. There are individuals here that I just feel them, and I mean, 2 of them are, well, I'm surrounded by them, that love me for me, and I feel like they love my inner child, which helps me be stronger to love them and love others. So if you can reach out to the people that make you feel this way, just thank them, honor them, acknowledge them, tell them, because they're making such a big difference on your journey. if they've passed on, just Care Bear stare them and just love the stink out of them and thank them. This will help you fill up your vessel with love, empowering you to keep moving forward through these rough times. In doing so, you get to be the person who loves you, which means that the ones you affect will feel the same way from you. Like you're making them feel the same way that these other people are making you feel. And I just feel like the cards are just reminding us, love wins. Bottom line, that's how it goes. So take time to love your inner child, reflect on those who have loved your inner child on your path, thank them, honor them, and then show the same love that you've been shown. And that's my takeaway.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Beautiful. I
Yeah, it
love
was
your
great.
I just recently discovered like tarot can have like a spiritual aspect to it. The reading can be very, very spiritual. So I love how you did that. I love that. It's like more higher thinking, you know. Yeah. Can I just say really quick, you know, I encourage you to make your own deck of cards when you start teaching yourself, because that's what I did. I made a deck, and I pulled the same 3 cards that you pulled, and the first card I think you said was the 6 of Cups.
Yes.
So mine says grateful, right? And then you pulled the Sun, and mine says joyous. This is a Native American symbol. And then the 10 of Cups, champion. So it was like, right with everything you were saying, I was like, yeah, so I'm a beginner too, you know? But I was like, yeah, you see the cards. I love how I don't know, I get tingles for some reason. I don't know. It's beautiful, right? It's a nice message.
Awesome. And I'm going to encourage the viewers and listeners, like if you want to pull these cards and do your own research, because you know, like this was my interpretation, but if this resonates with you, get after it.
Yeah, so I love it. I love that you're doing this. Yeah, you're gonna pull a card from me.
It's on the list. The confidence is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
I like that she touched on something that allows me to bring Karen back into the conversation, is that love energy, because that's actually something that you touch on in the quantum transformation program, is all about changing your perceptions and energy. We have about 10 minutes before we need to get into the chat on the episode. Do you want to give everybody a quick rundown on the quantum transformation program in case they've missed it? Because again, I'm going to toot your horn about this. It is an amazing program that everybody should at least have a look at.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I'd love to. So it's the Quantum Health Transformation Program. It's 9 steps, and I received the basic program in a download, and it was I received it around the same time that I had my extraterrestrial experience, which was a very positive experience. But it took me about 2 years to unpack the information. And then I've updated it a little bit as I became clearer on what I was actually writing. In the beginning, I didn't even really understand a lot of what I was writing. I just knew I had to get it out there. And it was a challenge because I was instructed to offer it for free. I was instructed to make it in universal terms so that everybody, regardless of their background, their education, their class status, anything like that, that they could understand and use the information, and to have it in really plain English. And the only, I guess, caveat is that you need to be able to understand English in order to benefit from the program. I'm hoping one day it gets translated into some other languages. Now, it's funny because, so the 9 steps, basically, I'll just tell you, you go from step 9 and work your way back to step 1. And the first 3 steps help you to open your mind. So this afternoon, we're going to record a show together, and I'm going to go over step 7. So step 9 is about how to use a tool called the N.D.E ball. This is a N.D.E ball right here. It's basically a sphere covered in nubs, and you learn to use it to get more of a quantum look and take on things. Step 8 is all about self-care and grounding and how to forms or even get in contact with what your core belief systems are. And step 7, what we're going to cover today, is about male-female balance. And I'm also going to get into the whole transgender thing, not gender politics, but on a physiological and psychological and sociological level, just some facts so that people get a better understanding of what that's all about. The middle 3 steps are all about detoxification. Now, I have to tell you, the middle 3 steps are the hardest steps of all. So the first ones you can open your mind, but the middle ones are really a challenge. And so I've divided step 6 into 3 parts because it's very comprehensive. And the first part deals with external detoxification. A lot of people don't realize how toxic we've become, how that affects our mood, our energy, our spiritual capacity. And so even, the cleaning products and personal care products we're using might be actually causing us to be dummied down and actually sick. And then part 2 of that is internal detoxification, where we look at what we're eating and how that can absolutely affect our mood and our health and our energy and our spiritual capacity. And then step 3 is part 3 of step 6 is emotional detoxification, where we understand what affects our emotions, how we can make our emotions work for us. Step 5 is all about food. And a lot of people don't want to hear this stuff. They don't want to change their personal habits. They don't want to necessarily detoxify because they're used to being a certain way. But it isn't until we actually deal with that we're elevated to a new level of health that we didn't even know was possible. And nobody seems to be talking about it. But a healthy body, healthy mind leads to a healthy spirit. And I want everybody to have the amazing transformational experiences that we get once we're able to decalcify the pineal gland and start having these transdimensional adventures, because there's never been a better time. And then step 4 is all about how to detox from the construct, understanding how we learn, what affects our learning outcomes, and how we can change our reality by just perceiving things differently. And then steps 3, 2, and 1 are all about the very higher spiritual things. But until you've opened your mind and detoxified, you can't really make it to the last 3 lessons, which is why they're last. And so they're really very, very important. And I explain how to build your own soul team, how to do everything. But once you can hold the frequency from doing, the first 6 steps, which is actually the bottom 6 steps, it's hard to really get there. And what's interesting is this ties in with Spinja's card reading, because I am Aquarius, I am the water bearer. And it also ties in because that's my job, is to fill everybody's cups. And once they do the Quantum Health Transformation program, then their cups are going to be full and they can fill other people's cups. And that's the whole theme behind what I'm trying to do. So I put a great deal of effort, hours and hours and hours, into getting this up and ready. And I've got most of it uploaded to my website, but a lot of the steps on my website are still hovering between version 3.0 and version 2.0. As the material is created, I'll be uploading it to my website. So I really recommend people to have a look at it and check it out. I don't know, Dawn, will you put the link to my website below and my YouTube channel? I also have a playlist. So you want to look for Quantum Health Transformation version 3.0, and you can see the videos that we've made so far. So it's very exciting. I'm really glad, Dawn and Spinja, you're part of the workshop series. I'm really enjoying it.
I went a little keener this week. I noticed that you posted the part with step 7 on Spotify. So I listened. I went a little bit ahead and listened to it this week, and I am stoked because you just change, because like the whole subject, like the divine feminine and masculine and all that, like like I understood that concept, but then when you started talking about gender, like it just like you left the politics out, and it was beautiful, and I am really looking forward to like I didn't close I didn't close my mind, because I knew that there was more to it, but you, like, just what you explained there helped expand it, and I am really looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
good. Oh, good.
I just wanted to add in too, I think it's absolutely wonderful. I don't know if you had mentioned it or not. Karen is doing 2 versions of this program. There's the ones where me and Spin are actually in class being the keeners, listening and learning, or there is here's the direct, I'm just going to read you this and listen and learn if you don't have time to sit and listen to our questions. And that is an absolutely amazing way to go about this.
Well, I recommend that people watch both the video tutorial, which is the bare bones program, and the workshop, because the things that you add to the program, the questions you ask, your take on it, how you're perceiving it, add a lot more. And then I answer with different things, and it's more fleshed out, and there's actually more information. And the information is pretty deep. So you really, I recommend that you do watch both, so you're getting a double take on it, and it helps it to sink in better. The other thing too is, because it's so deep, I don't expect people to just do the lesson and then change their lives. That's really not going to work. It has to be doable. And so what I recommend is that people take baby steps towards their goals, towards including some of the material in their life, see how it works, synthesize it for themselves. When you're all done the program, all 9 steps, you go back and you do step 9 and you start all over again, because now you're at a level that you can understand it differently. So much the way First Nations teaching is, how they teach with stories and parables, and depending on your level of consciousness as to how much you can absorb and use. So that's the thing. So it's an ongoing living program. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a lot of work. And sorry, Maya, go ahead. What?
I got a question. Are they able to print it out from your website or anything? Like, is it able to print out? Or can they print it?
The basic video program is free, but I am offering downloadable copies in PDF form from my website, and I'm charging $3.99 each Canadian, which is like $2.50 American. Very affordable, but it helps bring in a little bit of money to help me cover my expenses. And then once you have the PDF, you can copy it and adapt it and put it into your own programming to teach other people, or just teach as is. So it's not copyrighted. And I say right in each video that I do, oh, I got to sneeze. Each video that I do, that it's absolutely can be copied and used under the fair use clause. So what that means is, if you've got a program and there's a certain aspect of my teaching you want to include with your program, go for it. The only thing I'm asking is that people don't charge other people for the aspects that I've provided for free. It's got to be free, and it's got to be available to everybody. But yeah, you can knock yourself out and copy it and use it all you want. The point is to get it out there to humanity.
Yeah.
Really quick, I have a resource page on my website where I have certain people on there where they advertise. I have Rob on there for his website, not his website. Does he have a website? For his YouTube page. I'm trying to figure out a way where I can showcase the people that I have on my show, where I can have you on there, and they can follow your links and stuff, and it'll send them directly to your page. It's kind of like my version of a classified section. It's like, if you're looking for a spiritual teacher, because the information that you have is great for people who are just now awakening. Like Don just woke up, but he's like a baby who woke up, but he's not a baby. He's like Benjamin Button, you know. He waked up and he's an old man. He's like, dang, what am I doing? How did I get in this body, you know? And I think it's great for people who need to know all these things that they don't know, you know. I've been in this for a little bit of time now, so I've already, you know, I know you got to eat clean. You know, you have to do this. You know, a lot of my friends are like, oh, but I'm doing this and that. And I look in their shopping cart, or I'm like, but you're eating this and you're eating that, you know? So it's kind of funny. I'm guilty sometimes. I'm a little guilty. I have a couple things that I haven't let go of, you know, like my honey nut Cheerios. And I'm like, I can't eat it. It's not good for me. But I'm like, but you know, there's a few things, but you have to eat clean, you have to live clean. I think it's great that you're putting this together and that people can print it out, so that way you can earn a little bit of something too to give back. I mean, it's not a bad thing. So there's two options. I think it's great.
So
So I'll
they can
figure out
watch.
a way, if you want, I could put you on my website.
Oh,
So
that'd be wonderful. I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, and the other thing too is don't just because I'm confidently dispensing this information doesn't mean I'm perfect either. I have really battled with addictions, hugely battled with addictions. And I quit smoking cigarettes, I quit nicotine, I quit alcohol, I quit all kinds of things, bad relationships. But the toughest for me was to kick refined carbohydrates and sugars. That was the toughest. That was such a bitch to get off my back, and it took years. And so I bring out in the program, it's 2 steps forward, 1 back. And when you incrementally you know, reach higher stages of what you're doing, but eventually your body will tell you, where you'll look at something that used to taste good and you'll take a mouthful of it and go, why am I eating this? Wow, I can taste the chemicals. Because as we detox our bodies, we become more and more sensitive to it. And so it really, it's only really tough the first time you go through it, but you just do your best, because spirit never expects more than what you can give. And you know, the thing is that you're just working and getting in that right direction. But the really exciting thing, guys, is that once you get your body cleaned out, it functions as it was meant to. And we were meant to be these amazing, paranormal, trans-dimensional, kick-ass warriors. And it's so exciting and so much fun. And when we raise our frequency, I'm going to say something too, that until we get to a certain frequency level, we do have problems sometimes with interference from the astral field and things like that. And we have to worry more about protection. But once you get to a certain frequency, these other, and let's just call them entities and energies, they can't touch you, because they have to stay in the astral realm. They have to stay within that the lower realm. So yeah, so once you get above that, you're flying and looking down, but you don't necessarily have to engage.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on 2 things before we get going on Dr. Joe Gellenberger. I'm going to screw up his name probably 15 times. But what you were saying about the grocery store is, it's funny now because it's almost like that movie They Live. I go into the grocery store and it's like gross, chemicals, garbage, crap, made in a factory. And I find myself, I can't even shop the way I used to, because it's like, that's fucking disgusting. That's not even real. That's not even food. And you want to talk about Cheerios, be glad you don't have a sperm count to worry about. And as far as me, as far as me being aware, I oftentimes feel like a toddler in the astral Walmart. I'm just running around touching shit on all the shelves, because I have no idea what I'm doing. And this course and the things that Maya has put me in touch with in my own awareness are just key. Like if I didn't have the guides, and I mean physical ones, here on this planet, I'd have probably been back, and I can say back, in the loony bin, because this would have drove me nuts.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, for sure. So just remember, every sacrifice we make so that we can be better people, we're holding more frequency and the more reward. So it's basically you give an inch and the universe comes back with a mile of amazing, amazing reward. And it's so exciting. And I want everybody to have it because I've had these amazing experiences and I'm nobody special. So if I can have them, other people can have them too. So I want people to really get a taste of what life is like. And then the world of drama and politics and all that stuff just kind of dissolves. And if that happens for enough of us, there won't be war anymore. There'll be peace on earth. We can do that. In fact, that's our job.
Yeah. I listened to your videos. I think I watched a few of them. Or, well, I was trying to not to watch. I was working, but I did listen to them. But yeah, they were great. I think they
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Again, I can't take full credit because they were divinely inspired. So
Well, you
and
did
it's
your mission.
interesting when I'm working on the material and I'm typing it out, and that's just suddenly my guide stop me and say, you need to rechange how you're wording this, you need to add that, you need to, you know what I mean? It's interesting. It's like I've got these invisible editors that are helping me. It's really cool.
Yeah. They're like, that's not what I said. Verbatim. Yeah, they're funny. By the way, it's St. Patrick's Day, right? Isn't it St. Patrick's? Happy St. Patrick's Day.
I'm not. Oh, I'm wearing. I'm wearing. I'm wearing the green. It's okay. I'm not.
Didn't we talk to a leprechaun in your session, Dawn?
No, that was Spin.
It was Spinja's session. Oh, the leprechaun.
Frederick the leprechaun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna share anything about what he said? We gotta give. The pot of gold is real, they said, by the way. It is real. And I love my leprechauns. I know Angel Lori was a little scared. Don't be scared. They're not bad. That's all in the movies.
Yeah.
Right, Spinja?
Oh yeah, well yeah. Annabelle, my fairy friend, took me to it was a festival, and Frederick was there and with his red beard and his little hat and red hair, and he was scooting about like the rest of us. So there was nothing scary.
There's good and bad in everything. Like,
yeah, I was just gonna say that there's good and bad in every crowd. Every crowd has its assholes.
Well, exactly. Like, people freak out when I say, like, there's a portal open in our bedroom and we have what I've classed as fairies coming in and out, and they're like, oh my God, negative. And I'm like, no, just like they have the rule of implied consent, I've formed a rule of implied intent. You can open and come in and out of that portal all you want, as long as you're benevolent and not here to harm anybody, living thing, or anybody or anything in this house. That is my implied intent.
Well,
that's your right. That's your
Yeah.
right, because they're coming into your realm. So you set the stage in your realm.
And I did that very well. I actually can segue this because Dr. Joe Gellenberger on Rob's show was talking about astral travel and O.B.Es and how intention is a lot of it, and effort can actually interfere with that. And I know, like, this is why I chose you two, is like, Karen, I know you've had transdimensional experiences. I lucid dreaming, I don't know, I don't want to classify, we'll get to that. And Maya, you kind of specialize in out of body experiences to an extent with hypnosis, so this is going to work wonderfully. With you, Karen, I just wanted to know, like, do you class your transdimensional experiences as an O.B.E? Because they talked about that on Rob's show, right? Because I know, like, even myself, I was telling Spin, like, I went to our farm 2 to 3 years in the future, and I was there 2 weeks, and I woke up and I was like, oh, for fuck, really? I'm still here? And it's not like I went to space. I just went to where we will live in 3 years from now. And I was there for 2 weeks, and then I woke up and I was back here, and I was like, come on. So I don't know if that classes as an out-of-body or transdimensional.
Well, I'm sort of universalist or a tributarian. What I believe is it's all part of the same thing. And we're just perceiving it as separate, but it's really all the same thing. So I see lucid dreaming when I'm awake, which I do a lot of, lucid dreaming while I'm sleeping, which I do a lot of, out of body experiences, near death experiences, and astral projection, and remote viewing. I think it's all the same thing. It's the same phenomenon. It's just we interpret it, or we're coming back from it with an understanding where we're trying to put things we have no language for, because it's not accepted in the mainstream. We weren't socialized with language for any of this stuff. And so we're trying to make sense of it and put it into words, and it sounds like different things, but it's like if you have 5 blind men that approach an elephant from different places, one has the tail and one has the trunk and one has an ear and one has a foot, they're going to describe this elephant as very different things, but they're all the same elephant, in my opinion. So that's how I...
Karen, can I ask you? Oh, sorry, Spin. Go ahead.
Spin.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, like, for the newbies, what is, like, in your opinion, experience, what's the difference between visualization and lucid dreaming?
I'm not sure what you mean by visualization. You mean purposely creating
Yeah,
a visualization?
like, say for example, okay, right now everybody knows the story of the farm. We want it so badly we can taste it. So I'm there, I'm sticking my head in the clouds, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna dream about my farm, and like I'm designing the kitchen, and like designing the garden, and all of that stuff, and I'm visualizing what I want to do, and I see myself there, and I see and I see Dawn there, and I see us doing it. What's the difference between that and lucid dreaming?
Well, lucid dreaming is directed by my higher self or my soul, or you know what I mean? I'm not consciously saying, oh, I'm going to go here and do this or that. It just happens. It just happens. Whereas visualization, I'm clearly in the driver's seat of the creation of it. So I would say that would be the difference. I think
Thank you.
I think it's important when we're visualizing what we want, sometimes, much like the episode that we're discussing today, where the doctor says, you don't want to try too hard. You want to let it just sort of happen. There's an element of that I would throw out there. The other thing is to leave room for your guides to give you something even better that you never thought of. So don't corral yourself in too much, would be in my take on it. And because you're basically, every desire, every heartfelt desire is a prayer. It is a prayer, right? And your higher self knows before you even think it, what you need and what you want, right? And so I think there's an element of, because I've tried different methods of manifesting, and the ones where I really focused a lot and thought a lot about it and everything and worked out the details, they actually were slower to manifest than the ones where I just put it out there, my desire from my heart. And your heart's very powerful. You're going to learn about that in step 3 and step 2 of the quantum, and step 4 of the quantum health transformation program. It's very powerful. It's more powerful than our brains. Right? And so we want to, once it's in our heart, we could think about it if it makes us feel good. But I think trying too hard to astral travel or to do any of these things actually can sometimes make it harder to get there. And that's just my opinion and my experience, guys. I'm an old lady. I've done a lot of neat stuff, but I don't know everything.
Well, I think you're onto something there, because the doctor there also touched on, like, intention is okay, but effort, you might screw things up, and you have to be very careful. Spin was telling me about an experience when her and her young one were in a transitional stage of their life. Like, all I want is this townhouse and this subsidized housing so I can afford it and have a roof for my child. And that's exactly what she got, except it was a shit neighborhood with terrible neighbors and blah, 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 blah. right?
Be careful what you ask for,
effort,
because you might just get it.
Well,
your
you know,
effort
I
actually screw you over.
I like to tell people, when you draw a picture, make sure you draw everything. You have to think of, you have to, if you're going to, because if you ask, you shall receive. So I've been manifesting things in my life since I was 18. And it wasn't until I was like 40 that where I started manifesting good, only good. Like I was going through the good, and it was lots of life lessons and karma. And I'm like, when am I going to be done with this? And then finally, I don't know. It was a different perspective and different wants and needs. You know, Crotch 19, you know, triggered everything new and everybody. And I went on a whole new journey. But when I started my intentions and manifesting, I started to think about everything, the neighborhood. Like, I want my neighbors to be so cool. Like my forever home, my dream home, my husband, it's finally, for me, there's still like, you know, it's not always perfect, but it's perfect enough, right? It's like, I can say I'm truly happy. I can deal with this on a bad day. It is not that bad. And my neighbors are fantastic. You have to think about everything, your neighbors, everything. You can't leave nothing out. When you paint a picture, you know, those pictures that have got too many details, that's not a bad thing. That's what I say. Otherwise, yeah, you might end up with something that you might not want. And then think bigger, right? Think bigger.
Yeah.
I always say.
So the example that Dawn used. So yes, at the time I was in the shelter with my son, and I needed a place to live. And at the time, that was the only place that I could see because I limited myself. And it ties right back into like what both you and Karen said is like, be careful what you wish for, and you need to look at things from all angles. It's like, okay, yes, I am just like anybody else deserving of a stable home, but I left that part out. I just went with what I figured I was worthy of at the time, because I was in a shelter and very low self-esteem. You know, you beat yourself up. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. I brought my child here. And, you know, like the stuff that was going through my head. And I believe that that's normal. Like, you know, like shit happens. That's the way it goes. I was leaving a bad place to move on to a better place. But what happened was that I didn't look at everything from all the angles. And that's where I was, you know, like I was so broken. And that's where exactly what you both said, be careful what you wish for. So yes, that is what I wished for, but I also didn't take into consideration the neighbors, the neighborhood, everything. So that's the part. And what Karen said, you know, like set your intentions, set your goals for what you want or better.
Yeah.
And
or something better. It's really important, because that allows your higher self, who sees much more of the bigger picture, room to co-create with you.
And that's actually what's happening with Dawn and I right now. Like, yes, there is a particular property that we have totally fallen in love with, but there's also another one that we were looking at beforehand, and we looked at it because it was perfect. It would meet our needs. It's about half the price of the place that we're looking at now. It's also half the size, but this place that we're looking at now is the or better, because we would have been perfectly content with that place. And even now, no matter how things go, that place would be absolutely perfect for us. But this other place, the even or better, is even more perfect for us. So yes, our hearts like, I would love to have this place, but I'm still putting out the or better, because I'm like, are you kidding me? Because it went from this little house that we were going to fix. The next step was a log house. I've always wanted a log house. And so now the universe is showing me, hey girl, this is real. This can happen. So set your sights on that or better, because look what happened.
Yeah.
I have to excuse myself because I have a cake to attend to.
Okay.
My guides, Archangel Michael and my guides are always telling me, think big and go bigger. You are here for me personally, my mission. They're like, you're here to do big things. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not like, I just want to live a normal, quiet life and do something simple. They're pushing me out there. It's overwhelming. It is. I'm taking Dawn with me. You coming with me, Dawn, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh my
and that
God.
actually, I wanted to jump back here for a second and just talk about the time dilation, because it actually works in both of the things. Like Karen, you've mentioned that you were like lived another existence over a matter of months, and Maya, with your hypnosis, when you put Ray under it with something, he was absolutely fascinated. He thought he was talking to you for like an hour, and it was like 5. Right. I just wanted to get both of your takes on the time dilation, because I think O.B.Es and N.D.Es, just like Karen was saying, are all the same thing, just from a different perspective. And I think that's also an aspect of hypnosis, because you are going to an altered state of mind, right? Just like you are when you sleep, just like you are when you shroom or you ayahuasca or you go under hypnosis. It's all a different stage of your subconscious, right? And I think that's where I just wanted to get your guys' take on the time dilation effect whenever you're in altered state and discovering more of yourself.
Karen?
This is just how I see it. It doesn't mean it's 100% right, but there is no time or space in the other dimensions. That's a 3-dimensional construct. And so I think that what happens is we're actually interdimensional beings. And when we're under a deep state of hypnosis, or we're lucid dreaming or whatever, we're actually taken that shortcut where we're going through other dimensional realities. There's some overlap, because all of the realities also overlap like a Venn diagram. And so when you're there, there is no time or space. So we're perceiving it. Like when I was away on the big ship, I was perceiving it as like 3.5 years worth of experience. And yet it was only the evenings or the nights of 3 months Earth time, because there is no time or space there. And so that's where I think the dilation comes in. And we can actually bring that into the 3-dimensional. There's been times where I've had certain things that had to be done by certain time. And of course, my first instinct is to panic, but then I calm myself down and I put myself in the flow. And when I put myself in the flow, and people who've been in the flow know what that feels like, there is no time or space. You can stretch 10 minutes to be like an hour, or you can make it go faster. In our reality, we tend to want to make things go faster because we're impatient, but we can actually stretch it out and cause like 10 minutes to be like an hour, where we calmly and easily get everything done, and it's miraculous. So time and space are a bit of an illusion for 3-dimensional purposes, but that's my take on it.
What I wanted to ask you, Karen, go ahead, Spin.
No, I was just going to comment, like I do this all the time at work, because I set the intention, because I love my workplace so much. I love my bosses so much. Like they are such good people. And so I actually set the intention before I go into work. I want to have a good, productive day. And I just absolutely lose track of time. And lately I've been cranking suits out like nobody's business. I've been surprising myself. And it's exactly what you said, Karen, about the flow. So anyway, carry on, Maya.
You put yourself in a zone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, Karen, about the differences. So do you know, like, as far as lucid dreaming, or when you're awake or asleep, and remote viewing, and astral projection, are you able to physically touch things and taste things? Can you physically be there as well? Because I know in hypnosis, they can. I'm wondering in these,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Not always, but absolutely. It depends on, I guess you could call it the mission. What's happening and for what purpose? You know what I mean? Like when I was aboard a big ship, I was eating, I was pooping, I was sleeping, I was having baths with my friends. Like it was, sorry,
Oh,
but
wow.
it was very visceral, very physical. Whereas if I'm just lucid dreaming, sometimes when I'm awake and I'm lucid dreaming, it's really interesting. Like usually it happens when I'm in a very comfortable position, say I'm sitting on my bed, and it's like an overlay that takes over. So the room disappears, everything disappears, and I'm in this other altered state, having this adventure, whatever it is. Usually it's a teaching thing. Usually it's my guides wanting to take me on a journey that I'm generating in my imagination, but it's like an overlay over everything. And that is quite more mental, more of a mental experience. And the other thing I wanted to say is sometimes we experience missing time where we're gone and we come back and we don't even know where we were. We wonder if we're got a multiple personality thing going on or what. You know, I mean, I have lived, this used to happen to me. I hate social, going out to social things like funerals and weddings and stuff, but I do it sometimes because it's, you know, you got to do some of that. And I can remember one time I was on my way to go to a funeral. I sat down on the edge of my bed, I'm putting on my sock, and boom, all of a sudden I kind of go like that. And then I'm putting on my other sock and I look at the clock and 4 hours have gone by, 4 hours gone,
Wow.
right? So there's that too. So like I'm saying, I think it's all facets of the same thing.
And this happens to you
Yeah.
recently?
No, I haven't had missing time for a while. I have, since I've gone through the quantum health transformation, not to brag about it, but since I've gone through it now several times, and I'm at a certain level where I'm really detoxified of an extremely simple diet that I can live by. I don't have any addiction issues. Like it blows me away that I have no addiction issues, none whatsoever. Like once I got to that point, I mean, there's a good and a bad side to it. The bad side is if I ever did eat something or do something that I used to be able to get away with, I can't anymore. My body just freaks right out on me. But on the plus side is it's made it so that I'm more integrated. I'm more aware of my spiritual experiences. I have more control over what I'm doing. Often when I'm there physically, I'm so excited that I'm there. I don't think to manifest money or do things that I could do that would be more of a practical help to me. I'm just so excited. Sometimes I'm running around going, am I dead or am I still alive? What's going on here? Like I'm just so excited, right? Because it's so real. And it's captivating because there are more colors than what we experience in the 3D. You know, it's extremely safe. That's the other thing. It's extremely safe. Anyway, sorry.
For your journey. Yeah, that's good. I was told that when we daydream, even when we've daydreamed for a second, we've already been somewhere and back. Like it happens with the blink of an eye.
Yeah. Further to your question, Maya, when I went to the farm for 2 weeks, and Rob talks about being a farmer, and he's the one always wanting the O.B.E or the astral travel. It's like, dude, you go. He's going. Like he specifically talks about being on a farm because it's another life he's had or does have or will have, right? He's there because when I came back from my 2 weeks on the farm overnight, my back and hands hurt, and I've done farm chores, and I know those hurts, right? I didn't go to sleep. My body was here. I went to the farm for 2 weeks and came back, and my ass was tired.
Well, you're probably living there in the fifth dimension. It's already happened in the fifth dimension. I'm sure of it.
I do want to add something, but I'm not sure at what part in the show I should add it. And it's just another way of looking at all of this I wanted to put out there. But I'm wondering if now's a good time or if you want me to wait till later.
No, we want to hear.
Go ahead.
Okay. So after I watched that episode of Typical Skeptic, And he was basically talking about, how to do astral traveling and different ways of spoon bending and doing all this stuff. And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I always wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning with these insights and this input from my guides that always comes to me in the middle of the night, right? And I went, oh, the thing is that a lot of people, they're looking for an escape. They're not happy. They don't feel good. They don't feel fulfilled. They want to escape. So they want to go to the other realms. They want to astral project. They want to astral travel. They want to go to outer space. They want to be part of the secret space program because they're not happy where they are. And so my guides told me there's a parable that Jesus told of the fellow who had 2 sons, and the one son takes his inheritance and he goes off and he squanders it. And when it's all gone, he comes back and his father has a big banquet for him and welcomes him back. Well, the point is that being alive in a human body here in the 3-dimensional reality is our inheritance. It's our gift. And if it's uncomfortable because we're wage slaves or we're not well, or we are depressed, our relationships are crap, or whatever, we need to do what we need to do in order to help bring us into alignment. Because as I've been taught by Mary Magdalene, that when our bodies feel comfortable and our minds are calm and peaceful, then we have a joyful spirit that lines up, bing, 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 and puts us into perfect alignment for having the best experience we can have here on Earth. So although there's nothing wrong with going to the other realms, it's our birthright, it's a part of being human, we need to address the 3-dimensional inside our skin, what's going on for us, and inside our minds, what's going on for us. Because believe me, being an older woman, time passes real fast. And you don't want to squander your inheritance. This is your inheritance. If you do squander it, which I did for many years, we are welcome back. And that's the beautiful thing. So at any point we can be welcomed back. And that's like the father having the big banquet and killing the fatted calf, which again goes against a lot of the people who are spiritual are also vegans and say that's the only way. I disagree with that. Otherwise it would have been their father provided a huge salad, but he didn't. He killed the fatted calf for a reason. And we can come back to it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have these experiences, but my guides wanted me to mention on this show that we also don't want to squander our inheritance. Life is not supposed to be suffering to the point where we want to escape. It should be joyful and amazing. And, if you're not able to spend even 15 minutes just sitting in a chair doing nothing, thinking about nothing, if you can't do that, because you got all the anxiety and you got to get out your phone and you got to be flipping through and all that other stuff, something needs to be addressed. And we're the only ones that can fix it. So I hope I'm not putting a big poo-poo on everything here.
Unless you got ADHD. How do you cure ADHD?
Oh, that's actually quite curable.
What was that though? He's got the answer.
That's actually really funny, Karen. Sorry to jump in, but I literally just told Spin that today about the mind at rest thing, and we're programmed to do this, and we're programmed to be so on edge, so unrested, because people like you and I who don't even rest when we're asleep. This is friggin' torture because ADD, my brain never shuts off. Right?
Yeah, but you can fix that. It's not that hard to fix. You just have to be willing to make some sacrifices. And in quantum health transformation, you're tired of hearing this, but in step 6, you will learn how to fix that, because I know I'm fixing it in myself where I couldn't concentrate at all. I couldn't even have done podcasts. When I first started doing podcasts, I'd have a guest on and I had no idea what they were saying because my mind was gone and all over the place. Seriously, no disrespect to my first guests, But as I've been working on detoxifying and, you got to make some sacrifices and change lifestyle. It's the only way. But don't let people tell you that, you got ADD or you're autistic or you'll never be able to fix that. Oh, you'd be surprised what you can fix. Once you get toxins out of your system, we're being fed a diet and a lifestyle that's toxic, because then we're just can't concentrate, can't look after ourselves. We have to rely on the nanny state to look after us. We have to, you know what I'm saying? And there is a war against humanity. I'm just going to say it. There is.
Yeah.
And,
You
we
keep
can
them
be
tired
free.
and stupid.
We
Keep
can
them
be
tired and
free.
stupid.
Well, however you want to say it, I'm not trying to be too dogmatic here, but I'm not trying to be too bossy as an old lady, but I'm just saying there is amazing. And when you cut out certain things from your diet, oh my God, your mind, you go through withdrawal. And after you go through withdrawal, your mind is a whole different place. And you go, oh my God, where have you been all my life? I love you, Just gonna say it.
I love how Dawn and I have been, we've kind of like, things have lined up that, like we put it out there that we both put it out there that we needed help, we needed guidance, and you and Maya showed up. So if anybody is watching, or if they want to talk to us about it, we're examples of taking the gifts that you've both given us and putting it to use. Like, like when I first heard your podcast last summer, it's like I need to connect with this woman. And now we connected with Maya first, and she was the one that kickstarted Dawn. She was Dawn's alarm clock.
And look, can I just
And
say, you guys caught me right on time, because Dawn, Rob messaged me right as I had met my soul sister, and I had invited her into my house, and it was like inviting the devil. I was done. I was like, this spiritual journey, I am done with it. Like, I don't care if you're soul family no more. I'm over this. And Rob was like, I got somebody that wants a session with you. And I'm like, and then like part of me was like, I'm done. You just said you were done. And then another part was like, but this is your mission. And I was like, fine, let's do it. And I'm glad we did. So throw that out there.
Your fault. You put it up on YouTube calling the 144,000. Hi.
Well, and then I'm going to say,
you know what? It's an activation. Is what it is. They told me. Sorry, it's an activation number. It activates, and that's what I did. I activated your butt.
Yeah, we bring different things to the table. So, what you offer, Dawn and Spinja and everyone else, is different than what I offer. I like to think of myself as a fairy godmother, where, that grandmother, that auntie who comes in and doesn't necessarily tell you what you want to hear. I'm not saying you do this, but I'm just saying, doesn't necessarily tell you what you want to hear, but tells you what you need to hear. And it may not make sense in the moment, but it will down the road. I just always wanted to be like a fairy godmother.
Well, no, what you do is you bring it. Like, I can't articulate all those things. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? I can do a guided meditation and be inquisitive, but for you to do what you did, like, that is perfect. For people who are just waking up, they need to know, what do I do? How do I live this spiritual lifestyle? Right. So
nobody wants to hear that you need to change your diet. Nobody wants to hear that.
In my sessions, they tell you.
Popular.
In my sessions, they tell you you should stop eating pork. It puts parasites in your body. Matter of fact, let's speak to one right now. They don't. When I bring it to them, it's like sometimes they're not even ready for that. I'm like, are you eating pork? Yeah, I'm eating pork right now. Clean out their teeth. Okay. Don't say it.
This is how the two of you just tie in. Okay, so Maya provided the answers, like the roadmap, or not even helped us find the questions. And Karen is helping us answer the questions. And this is what I'm going to say. And I know we keep talking about your program because like we are so grateful, because this is the part where it's going to be like, okay, kids, you want to see some magic, buckle up. Dawn and Spin are following Karen's program, and if you want to follow the progress, because we are implementing, and it is our intention to implement as much as we possibly can. And so just buckle up and watch. And we're proof, like, you know, like if anybody has, like, we're testimonials. If anybody has any questions, you know, like, does Maya's work? Hi. Does Karen's, you know, is Karen helping change the world? Hi.
That's awesome.
Well, and it's funny because you both have introduced me. Like, I heard manifestation like, you guys know, I just woke up in September. So like manifestation and actually trying to practice it was not something I've really ever done. It was bust my ass, work hard, do a 9 to 5 and be that guy. Okay. But the things that you two have both taught me, and what I'm catching just over and over again on these podcasts, is that thoughts create reality. Now, I thought it could only be, okay, I want a farm. Well, you've both taken me outside of that base reality, and I've figured things out about myself through hypnosis, and I've figured things out through Karen's course, especially the nubby ball perspective. I can see how I do it almost every day now, right? Where it's like, I'll use the example. I had the cat by the ass. I had a $30 an hour job. I had everything I asked for except my happiness. So I changed my perspective, and it was just like, what if I quit? What if I'm going to start over? What if I just quit and go home? And you don't want to be the loser that just quit his job, but you also don't want to be miserable. So I changed my perspective. I'm like, I think I'm happier being a loser for a minute than I am being here, being a money grubbing animal. I don't like it. I'm going over here. And I phoned her, and just mortified to make this phone call. I'm like, yeah, hey, I just quit my job. And she's like, okay, well, go home, and I love you, and I'll see you when you get home. So all of the trauma programming went away. She changed my perception. I went to a different nub on the ball. I'm like, wait a minute. At the end of this, I can go back to doing this, or I can do this, or I can do this. And then I found you guys, and it just all blew into this reality. So like the manifestation, your thoughts creating reality, is absolutely 100% a thing. And it's not just your thoughts, it's your perspective on those thoughts.
And stepping out of fear, because it took courage for you to do that. So stepping out of fear is the other part.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's like being in my end, it's something you don't really, you don't want to hear. And especially like for me, in one of my previous relationships, my ex quit his job, and it was different circumstances, but it wasn't for the same reasons. And his intention was to live off my coattails. I knew with Don, I knew his heart. I knew he felt sick about the decision that he had to make. But I also knew that if he stayed there any longer, he was going to collapse. And
or worse.
What that means, and even for me, I could have looked at it two different ways. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Like, we're just like, this is it. This is the end. And, you know, and then you're like, oh my God, everything's on me. Or it's like, okay, well, you know what? It is what it is. Good on him. Because if he didn't walk away, it would have ended up being much worse. He would have collapsed. He might have ended up hurting himself or somebody else. And the hole that he was in would have ended up getting deeper and deeper, and it would have been harder to dig out.
Yes.
So, you know, I told him, like, this is what you had to do. You had to do this for the family because you were not able to be the best version of yourself doing that job. We'll figure it out.
He was like,
that's
what did I just do, Spin? What did I just do? You're like, listen here. You're fine. You're okay. I got you. We got this. We're going to be fine, right? Like that is a power couple. That is a twin flame union at the height. Like, you guys are where you're supposed to be. It's all divinely planned anyways.
Guys, I
And
have to
it
go.
was
I have
actually
to go
fun.
soon, so I'm just wondering if there's
Yeah.
anything else you wanted me to contribute to the show. Sorry, I don't mean to cut out on you. It's just I got to go get ready for
No worries.
my next show. So
Yeah. And I just want to get your take on this because of figuring out all of my abilities and energies and all of these things that I have. About 2 months ago, there was this really crappy situation where the young lad had lost his bank card and it contained all of the money that he worked all summer for with me at that horrible job. And I got into a meditative state and I'm like, this isn't right. He shouldn't lose all of that. And the bank card showed back up in the oddest and could not have physically gotten there by his doing, just the stupidest place. It was behind a chair in a corner at the door, and it was in his wallet. I think I used some form of psychokinesis that
Yeah.
day, or I just don't know if you guys have ever had any experience with that, and then we'll
Oh,
wrap
yeah.
on that because that's enough.
I've not only heard of it, I've had it happen to me, and I know other people it's happened to where there's no way the item could have, usually it's like lost keys or something like that, and it appears in the most unlikely of places. It's often compared to apports. Apports are when things show up out of nowhere, like crystals or odd things that let you know that there's been fairies around you or gnomes or ETs or something. Yeah, it's in that category, but yeah, it's actually quite common. And the good news is that way when things get lost, you can relax a bit and know that they'll come back to you. You'll find them when the time is right, because when you get stressed, that does not help.
Yeah, for
No,
me,
that's all.
I've had that happen many times. And when I asked what was that about, they said that you slip in and out of parallel dimensions and parallel. And so that's all it is for me. I don't know about anybody else, but for me,
Yeah.
they were saying that because like I was looking for the ketchup one day and I was sitting at the computer working. I'm like, okay, I can't eat my eggs without the ketchup. I need my ketchup for my eggs. And I was like looking around. I went in the cabinet, looked everywhere. I couldn't find it. So I went back to go sit down and it was in the chair. I said, wait a minute. How the
Yeah.
hell? I was just sitting there. I was just like, there's no way at all. And that's just one example.
Yeah.
I've had it happen many times. Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a very fascinating universe, and I think the moral of that entire episode Rob had with Dr. Joe was that we create our own reality, and I think that's a great way to leave this right now. Is keep thinking, keep loving, and keep creating. Do you guys want to give a quick of where to find your links? I'm going to put them all in the description anyway. If you want to go ahead first, Karen.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube and other social media platforms at Karen Holton TV. You can also find me on my website. Contact me through my website, www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. That's KarenHolton, healthcoach.com. And you can also find me under the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton. And that's how my name comes up for all the audio podcasts. So yeah, I'm wishing everybody much light, much love, and hope you all have a really good week. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. Maya, it's been a pleasure to spend time with you again. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody
Maya, go ahead.
knows. If you don't know yet, sosqht.com.
All right. And thank you both for being here. And this was an awesome discussion. I know we're about to shoot your show right after this, Karen. But if everybody else that's watching this wants to stay tuned, there's going to be a message for Karen's Orgone generators, which kick ass. My dogs love them, and Repentance. And as well as a message for the Typical Skeptic podcast and music by Sons of the Sun and Fearless Frankie. And this one is an absolute awesome banger, and it's called The Upper Hand. I went into trance listening to this, and I mean in a positive manner. Killer track, guys. Love it. We will catch you guys next week, and thank you for watching.
My past will outlast me. Ask me if I agree with my choices now. I'd say no.
of the sun. Minds into madness, sessions just started. Regarding the vaccine sign, the dearly departed. There's a war going on, the soul of the song. It won't be long now before they strike the board.
Our can't discern without using sight. They try to shackle us like cattle, but they live dynamite. A few shackles of rotten apples from the house painted white. And from their castles opposed hassle, making sure we go unite.
So eased in heights, don't get the sun's wrong. SOS stands, and no sun stands alone. Is that smoke in the sky? Devil in the sky. With eye contact, they keep your frequency high.
We be with fallacies, and we're not getting swallowed up with any apathy. Swiftly kicks in the ass, we're taking back our galaxies. Leveling up and become a master of alchemy, yeah.
YouTube will not monetize me, so if you enjoy my content and want to support my efforts, help me to cover my expenses by visiting my shop to buy yourself a beautiful orgone generator. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand, and they are ethically sourced, handmade, and double charged for maximum effect. They are only available through my website, www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. Many people are finding comfort with Zendome's orgone generators, commonly called Orgonite. They are a simple compound which balance ambient energy by converting negative energy and EMF into positive healing energy with many easily confirmed health benefits. They are a simple compound with alchemic and energetic properties. These devices function as self-driven, continuously operating, highly efficient, negative to positive energy transmutation factories. They help diminish the harmful effects of electromagnetic frequency radiation by attracting and converting negative energies, retuning them into new and more healthful sound and light wave patterns. And they help to purify the atmosphere and accelerate plant growth. They also help stimulate positive mood and are a natural remedy for poor sleep patterns. When Orgonite is within range of any corded or wireless electronic device, it will efficiently and continuously transform that energy into orgone as it is being transmitted. This essentially creates orgone energy transmitters out of any and all emitters of harmful negative energy. You can use these devices for focusing the mind, healing, meditation, and for spiritual growth. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand of orgone generators, and they are only available through my website. Don't be fooled by imitations. Check out my website to see my latest selection at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com. Check them out today.